Alright, what's up guys? Tonight I'm definitely gonna finally install my coil and plug setup. A few things you're gonna need is a coil plate for B-series. This one's for non-VTEC. This I got this from Burtonracing, as well as this coil packs, the 21, and I got a Digi Dizzy. I'm gonna unbox this real quick, spread it on the table. So everything comes with hardware. Like I said, the Burtonracing coil unplug plate. This is all the hardware for the coil packs to tighten those up, as well as on the non-VTEC valve covers. You're gonna use 1 and 2 with these spacers, and then the supplied bolts for them to tighten them up, to secure them. I'm gonna go ahead and install these coil packs onto the plate. This is the Digi Dizzy. It came with the extra cover here, as well as the hardware for it. And this is the adjustment bolt that you're gonna get to install it to your actual head. And this is the ground bolt for this wire here, also with its washer. Alright, I'm gonna pull in the car in the garage in a few minutes, but I'm gonna just install these coil packs on this plate, get that ready, and then yep, I'll install the Digidizzy. I'll show you what I had to do to get this working. Size was a 4. That head. For the Digidizzy, you're gonna use a 5. That's for the mounting bolt that goes right there. And for the ground wire with washer, you're gonna use a 6. I think that got it. Alright guys, I went ahead and removed my intake. I took off my spark plug cover, the one that I originally have, as well as the nut that goes here and here. I'm gonna remove these spark plugs. Before I do, let me just show you. Right here, we're looking for top dead center on cylinder 1. When we position this to set up for the Digidizzy, so I figured you need to know this. This is 1, 3, 4, 2. You want the rotor pointing at the bottom before you remove the distributor completely. I took off the bolts for the cap. You can go ahead and check where the rotor is pointing at now. So it's in between 1 and 2. We want the rotor somewhere around this area. We're gonna turn the crank. I don't know how well you can see there. We're gonna turn that crank. You see where that arrow is on the left hand side? The plastic piece is sticking out. There's gonna be a line on the harmonic balancer that you're gonna line that up with. Okay, so that's gonna let you know that you're at top dead center. Let me set that up for you and show you on camera how that is. You're gonna take a 19mm bolt to the harmonic balancer. Remember, this engine runs counterclockwise, so that's the way you're spinning it. And yeah, I'll show you the setup. Alright guys, took a few turns, but let's see if you can see it. See the line, that white dot, furthest away from the other 3 lines. One of them has a red mark in the middle. That white dot is, that groove is pointing to the timing cover that has the arrow. And distributor side, you can see that the rotor is pointing to cylinder 1 on the spark plugs, so you can tell that it's at top dead center, cylinder 1. Now we're gonna remove the plug wires and the actual distributor and install the Digi Dizzy. One other thing I wanted to point out, you see that red dust on the distributor itself? A common cause of that I found out recently was that the bearing inside the distributor, once that's starting to go bad, it's actually rust dust, and eventually this distributor was going to fail on me. So that was another reason why I decided to just change out my distributor, and I actually was just going to buy another one, similar style, but end up going with the Digidizzy. So yeah, anyways, wires are out. Gonna remove those 12s, take off my zip tie, unplug the distributor, and continue with the installation. And just double check that the crank didn't move out of place. My top dead center. Yep, still there. Okay. All right. Let me throw on the coil pack as well as the supplied hardware for here and here, and move the distributor and install. Before I throw on the Digidizzy, I'll show you how I did it. All right. So this was pretty cool. These are 10mm. You don't need a deep socket. Use a short one because you see how far down it goes. You don't want a deep socket on that. So use a short socket and hand tight. You know, these valve cover gaskets, these valve covers are like around 8 to 9 foot-pounds. So hand tight with a 1/4 inch ratchet, you'll be fine. And yeah, for these coil packs, I took a little bit of silicone paste, rubbed some on my glove, and I just lightly rubbed a little bit on the tips of all the rubbers, just so the spark plug could just slide straight in there. You don't need to goop any of this stuff up. Just take a little bit inside on your glove and rub it around. Very, very thin layer. You can barely see that there's anything in there. It's just enough to be shiny. When installing this Burtonracing plate, what I ended up doing was removing the bolts for the coil packs themselves, and I had to kind of wiggle them into where they're seated, like so. Now I'm gonna put the supplied bolts to hold down the tray, and then I'll tighten up each coil pack. But now they're fully seated. And I'm gonna bolt those 1 and 2, hand tight, nothing crazy, and then all the coil packs. Okay, so what I did was I didn't tighten these up all the way. I just left them a little loose, so when I put the wire harness, I have to see how it's gonna, you know, actually fit in and what orientation and stuff like that. Distributor's off. I pulled it straight out. If you remember from my last video, I had I put RTB there, so I'm gonna clean that up. As you can see, we're at top dead center, cylinder 1. The keyway is exactly where it's supposed to be, and that's how we're gonna position the same way how it was taken off the car. That long line on the left. That's exactly how The Digi Dizzy was meant to be installed exactly like this. Line on the left. So before I put this in, I'm gonna clean up all that stuff, and I'm gonna remove, I don't know, I might just leave this O-ring here just in case I have to switch back to factory, but this distributor's on its way, so I'm kind of iffy about that. I'll see what I'll do with that. But yeah, anyways, go ahead and clean up the RTV, clean up the oil there, and we'll continue. All right, everything's cleaned up. I'm gonna top that center. Just double check this. Top that center. I can't do this with one hand, I don't want to, so I'm just gonna show you here. Set its correct position. And I'm just gonna install it straightforward. Digidizzy is on. I didn't mess with the keyway or anything. Exactly how you saw in the last clip was exactly how I popped it in, and that was the position it fell, where the bolt hole on the head is all the way towards this side here. So now, using the 5, I'm gonna go ahead and slightly install this, and then plug up the coil packs as well as the ground wire and all the wiring. For my ground, I'm gonna put it to this bolt right here. All right. Coil packs are installed, tightened. These wires aren't numbered, but you know, I assume they just go with the length of the wire to each coil pack. So that's looking good. I hand tightened this, and then I slightly loosened it up, like about 3 turns out, because I have to adjust it when I turn power to the car. Distributor connected. This part of my distributor had broken years ago. That's why originally in the beginning of this video I had that zip tied. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna put this. Ground wire installed right there to that bolt, and yeah, I think I'm gonna throw on the intake now. And actually, before I throw on the intake, I'm gonna put the car in power. I won't crank it over, just put it in power. Wait for, supposed to see a green light or something. Supposed to see a green light in here, and then adjust this towards the firewall slowly until that green light disappears, and I should be able to tighten this up and start it. All right. So, second click. Come to the Digidizzy. See these lights on. Now we slowly adjust this. I think I'm gonna have to back that off a little bit. Hold on. Alright, see that green light? I'm gonna slowly keep pushing the distributor towards the firewall side until that green light disappears. Let me see if I can set this up somewhere. Alright, green light disappeared. This is where we're at. I had to loosen up that bolt a little more. Again, to be a pain to turn, adjust it. Alright, now I'm gonna just lock it into place. Throw on my intake. As you can see, no gaps, it's fully seated. I remove my ratchet from the crank, and we're still at top dead center. Just make sure you can see that. Yep. Alright. Start it up now. Alright, intake's stalled back. All the connections are tight. All these, you should hear a snap or a clicking noise. These all are secured. Everything is tight. Here goes nothing. Oh, and make sure you remove the ratchet and the 19mm socket off of the crank. I did that. No tools left in the engine bay. No. Okay. Start it. Wow. Definitely starts. There. It's definitely a cold start because when I drove the car into the garage, I didn't even let it warm up. I just put in first gear and rolled it right in, turned it off. Say a 20-minute drive. That's my idle. Car's warmed up. Yeah. You could ignore the ABS light. It comes on and off when it feels like. But yeah, the Digi Dizzy is awesome, man. Love it.